Hey everybody, how's it going? Jarred-Garneau here. Here's my guitar lesson for the week. Once again, I skipped last week. Just did not making time for the lesson, but just wanted to say sorry for you guys that are still watching. But anyways, for those of you guys that are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, ring the bell, comment, do all the things. So this lesson this week is going to go over Amazing Grace. I'm going to try and go over it in like a few different levels for you. So Amazing Grace, obviously like American gospel standard, very well known, and it's a great starting point to learn slide. Just like a lot of things, these simple melodies, these folk melodies that you learned as a kid, are often great platforms to learn new things or develop your technique or whatever. A lot of it just having to do because it's really simple. It's, like learning any new skills, you're better off starting simple and just working your way up. So with Amazing Grace, you could just learn the simple melody, which should sound like this. So you notice when I played it, I kept it intentionally super simple. And what you want to do is you want to play like a version of the melody that covers. I can't even speak that word today for whatever reason, get all tongue-tied. That just covers like everything that you want from the melody across multiple versions, because that's something you're going to run across many times, is that you'll learn melody like Amazing Grace, but then if you look up different versions of it, it's going to be played like a million different ways. So what you want to do is you want to just listen to like a bunch of different versions and just kind of play a version of it that's like distilled down to the most basic elements. So if there's a ton of like syncopation, maybe you reduce it down to like some quarter notes or like half notes or just like very simple rhythms. If there's just like a ton of improv, just try and cut through that improv and just play a simpler version. Either way, you want to start the melody from a very simple place before you add anything else. And, with this stuff, it really helps to sing it. You probably know the melody pretty well at this point just from growing up and hearing it. If you played a musical instrument when you were younger, you probably had to learn it just as like an exercise almost when you were younger. Like in the Hal Leonard book, it's like Amazing Grace is like one of the first things you'll learn in the book. So in fact, when I just started like relearning this, I just took that version. I was just kind of using it as a lead sheet. But either way, you want to memorize it. And you really want it in your ear. I watched like a Rick Beato video recently that said that you should memorize. You should be able to play something like 6 times in a row correctly to consider that you have it down. I've heard the same advice told with just varying numbers of like how many times you can play something without messing up. I think I've heard like 17 before. Some people say higher number, some people will say a lower number than that, but I think I kind of like the number 6 just because like I feel like if you're doing it more than that, not that it's like overkill, because you do want to be able to play it like many times in a row flawlessly to consider it down, but I think 6 is like a good number. I've done like 2 in my practice before, and that's just like really not cutting it. It kind of leaves room for like if one of the times I played it through was a fluke. So I think 6 is a pretty good number to aim for, but if you feel like a different number works for you, go for it. But regardless, you want to be able to play it like you can recite words on a page, just like that you're reading off of. Next would be like adding maybe some time to it. So it is in the 3/4 traditionally. And it starts on the pickup 3. So just maybe playing it with some basic time, just going 1, 2. Kind of improvise a rhythm. So I just did that with some timing. I just like improvised some rhythms over it. So I delayed some of the notes. One of the notes I slid into twice. Just that was a little extra than what I did. But regardless, start tweaking around with it. And the simplest place I think you can start is just start varying some rhythms around the melody. And you don't have to rewrite the entire melody. You just maybe will tweak a couple notes here and there. Just because obviously you want to learn to play the melody consistently, but you don't want to lock in the same way of playing it every time and train yourself to play it the same exact way every single time. With this type of music, it's not like classical in the sense where you're reading notes off of a page and you're supposed to be playing the composer's rendition of it, like how he envisioned it. This is more about playing these melodies with the freedom to do these subtle tweaks while still keeping the essence of the melody. Another good thing to do is maybe, let's say, setting your metronome to like a third of the BPM of the original tempo. So if we're playing if our goal to play the tune is at 90 beats per minute, play it like 30 or set the metronome to 30 and then just subdivide yourself while still using the metronome. So something like, I'm just going to set it to 30 now. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. There were a couple times there where my timing was a little off, but you get the point regardless. This is like a never-ending thing as far as like, how you're improving with these sort of things. So that'd be another great place to start. Just like set the metronome to a timing that forces you to subdivide on your own. Because, if you think about like how drummers practice their time, like what are they listening to set their time, so the next part is like maybe just setting the chords to it, and that's just like a good way just to compose like your own version or arrange your own version of it rather. So the chords themselves would be So what do we have so far there? We have one measure of E, or a couple measures. So so two measures of E, or the 1, So, and then 1 measure of the 4 chord. So I'm just playing open strings for the 1. And then the 4 chord, I'm just playing at the 5th fret. So we have how sweet the sound, back to E. That's like, so that was 3 measures of 1, and then we're going to the 5 chord for 2 measures. So that was 2 measures of 1, 1 measure of 4. Found, I was lost, and found, back to 1. So let's just go over that while humming the melody and just try and count along as you're doing it. So, how sweet the sound that sings a wretch like me. I was if I count the lyrics. So on and so forth. I know like my pitches weren't correct with my voice, but you know, as long as you're like playing it in your head and you're attaching it to something other than like maybe you're reading paper or the recording you just listened to, like really internalizing it, that's absolutely what counts right there. Maybe after that, just kind of start doing, you know, after you've realized where the melody notes are in relation to the chords, maybe start doing like a low solo piece with it. So just like combining those single note lines with the chords. So maybe something like So get the point regardless. That should have been the 5 chord at the end over the G sharp. But yeah, so just like tackling it in multiple different levels and then maybe creating your own kind of chord melody solo piece out of it. But yeah, just like, and that doesn't even like cover the topic of like doing some stuff that's adding a little extra flair to it, you know, like maybe the next part is start listening to some like recordings of like gospel singers like Aretha Franklin or Mahalia Jackson or these just great singers that have covered these tunes and just start adding their own inflections. So, you know, just some stuff off the top of my head is like So yeah, just start adding some of those inflections that you hear a lot of great singers use, and then just adding some more variety of it. But you gotta start from a more basic place if you want to like make it sound good. You know, you can't start like hit the ground running and expect not to like fall on your face. You know, you gotta start from a basic place, like play the melody super plain. It's not like the most exciting thing in the world, but it's, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of like, I've watched like, you know, I'll watch like football, for instance, and, you know, Josh Allen, great QB, and and, you know, he's in my rival division, so I don't want him to succeed. So that's to you Bills fans out there. I'm a Patriots fan. But, you know, he said something like he wants to play more boring football. And what he means by that is that he doesn't want to rely on flash and doing like everything he can or showing all his cards at once. He wants to like rely more on fundamentals, which that's something I have to remind myself of all the time. Like, am I playing the melody correctly and cleanly? Am I playing it with good rhythm? Is my tone good? These sort of things. Stuff I'm always trying to remind myself just to, you know, make sure I'm covering the fundamentals. But anyways, guys, that's it for today's lesson. Let me know what you think in the comments, / if there's anything else you want to go over. Hit the like button, the comment, ring the bell, do all these things. Follow my other social media channels, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.